Education plays a central role in the development process as it pervades every aspect of nation building as a significant factor in manpower development and an offshoot of the culture of the society. It also holds a crucial position in the overall development of the human resources sector and national life. The development of each sector would be a reflection of the quality and adequacy of skilled manpower supplied to them by the education sector. Nigeria as a country needs a functional educational system that is capable of equipping learners with requisite knowledge, attitudes and skills to enable citizens to relate and adapt successfully to the rapidly growing global socio-economic, cultural and political development. For about 2 decades after independence, Nigeria maintained high qualitative educational standards and indirectly a positive developmental index. Teachers exerted to train their pupils were highly regarded by societies. Graduates of Nigerian universities were highly sought after they excelled in graduate studies in the best universities in the world. But from the 1980s, the fabric of the Nigerian educational system started to degenerate, and today our school system is almost prostrate and in comatose. Human and material resources are no longer functioning well in the primary schools. Most secondary schools hardly perform experiment or practicals, while tertiary institutions are poorly funded and lack infrastructure. There are no functioning laboratories, while libraries are ill-equipped with outdated books. Many school system is almost prostrate and in comatose. Human and material resources are no longer functioning well in the primary schools. Most secondary schools hardly perform experiment or practicals, while tertiary institutions are poorly funded and lack infrastructure. There are no functioning laboratories, while libraries are ill-equipped with outdated books. Many are also with poor sporting facilities. The Nigerian teacher is the most important stakeholder in these educational institutions. Regrettably, his fortunes have been vacillated over time. Today, the erstwhile highly esteemed and respected teacher is treated essentially as a scum of the public. From 1999 to 2015, the percentage of budgetary allocation to education has not exceeded 12%, which is far below the minimum UNESCO standard of 26% of the annual budget. According to Section 18 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, government shall direct its policy towards ensuring that there are adequate, equal and educational opportunities at all levels, and shall promote science and technology, must strive to eradicate illiteracy, and to this end government shall, as and when practicably, provide free, compulsory and universal primary education, free secondary education, free university education and free adult literacy program. In conclusion, effective participation and contribution to national development by youth through formal education in present-day Nigeria is yet to be achieved, considering the caliber of students turned out yearly who find it difficult to defend their certificate when called upon to do so. Education has not been able to promote cultural and social development among the youth, nor has it been able to achieve political stability, unity, nor guaranteed our citizens certain freedoms necessary for personal and national development. Something therefore needs to be done, and urgently too, if the objective of education is to be achieved.
Education. But before I really give my own remark on the mini future, I want to introduce my co-host, Rose.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be here. Welcome everybody. Of course, this is Voters Forum. It's good to be here again, where we educate you and tell you everything you need to know when it comes to, knowing your right as a citizen in Nigeria. And of course, you can be part of this show because a number will be displayed below your screen TV where you can send SMS to. Please indicate your name and your location when you're sending this text message. And please, this is education. It's the key thing, one of the most important thing in every nation building. So please join us, and of course, you're welcome again.
Yes, you're welcome. I guess today we are good because we have the opportunity of covering our guest until we're ready to unveil. I want to salute the engineers for doing a good job today. And who is our guest? Our guest is no other person than Evangelist Kola De Shegun Kewo, I was deliberately slowing in calling him so that some people will quickly finish reading out before I do that. And let's see your face. That's the face of the great man.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to this program.
It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Rose.
For information, it wasn't easy to get this man, no? It was a tug of war. The Yoruba will call it big time ijakadi. It was big time ijakadi. He will promise me this week one thing or the other will hook him. He will promise me the next week one thing or the other will hook him. So me too, I now turned into one thing or the other. I now hooked him. That's the secret of how we got here today. You are welcome once more, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm glad to be here, viewers.
We have missed
Thank
you
you for watching.
People have been disturbing me. This evangelist, this politician, this tactician, and of course this thespian. Let us bring him here and let us give him the. We now say, don't worry. And of course, for me and for you, this is his stuff. What he does is principally education. I mean, the thespian is an educationist.
Yes.
Yes.
Teaching you people how to live a good life or how to live a fake life, depending on how you have it.
Yes, yes,
Some
make
people, if you
believe.
see them on the road, they don't have a car. But on the
Instagram, on their social media, they have the car in the house.
So, you're welcome, sir, once
Thank
more.
you very much.
We're looking at education. Let us see it from your angle, because when we're talking about some issues in the mini future, you are just shaking your head.
Well, thank you very much. Let me start by saying we must have a proper understanding and definition of what education is. I think that's where we got it wrong in this country particularly, and maybe most of Africa. The Church Conference in Oxford, 1937, describes education as a process by which a society opens up itself to its younger generation in order to allow the younger ones to understand the society and be able to provide solutions to the problem of the society. That is education. Education is not necessarily the acquisition of knowledge. It is not necessarily the acquisition of certificates. If you acquire knowledge and you do not contribute to the society, you are an illiterate.
I agree with you. Let me confirm that agreement.
Yes.
I have colleagues that we read law together. They didn't go to that list, to that line. I'm sure you have colleagues that you read that your course, English or theater arts together.
Yes. Yes.
They are in another thing entirely. Some of them even have decided not to work at all, out of maybe being careless or just being afraid. I have a colleague too. Tomorrow I'm still stressing him. Why did you study law if you don't want to practice law?
Well, by that definition, I want to say that education now becomes the lifeline of any nation. If we agree that education is a process by which a society opens up itself to allow the younger ones to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of that society, with the view to allow the younger generation to provide solutions.
Great.
So whatever we are doing, and we do not put education as number one, we are actually using the present to foreclose the future. That's just what it means.
Let us just go.
So if we have that, if government, if everybody have that understanding, that our lifeline is education. We are opening up the younger ones to know what is the current situation. Because when we are no longer there, they will carry on. So without education, any society is doomed. That's the truth.
Let's just go straight.
Yes.
How can we not be doomed so that we avoid this doomsday?
Thank you very much. We have once we have that understanding that the younger generation must understand, therefore our education, the focus of our education must first of all be to make the younger generation understand what is happening. And that is why our younger generation must understand our culture. They must understand our needs. They must understand. If you don't have an understanding of what a society needs, how do you provide solutions for the next generation?
You are a practical man, so I'll be interjecting you because you are bringing serious issues today.
Oh, yes.
And we've not started and you have started. So since you have started, let me to start with you. How you talk about culture? Because when I was a small boy, the culture for the typical Yoruba man is that you see an elderly person, you prostrate.
Yes. Yes.
The girl will kneel
As an
two legs
as a
on the
Yoruba?
ground.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
you see an elderly person and you just behave as if you do not see somebody who is older than you. In fact, from my own part of the Yoruba land, I'm an Ijebu man. We have the age grade.
Yeah.
Once somebody is older than you 2 years, you are not even mates.
At all.
No doubt the grammar school that I went, very tough school. 300, you hear 365 days is not a joke.
It's not a joke, yes.
That's in school. I went to anybody's house.
Yeah,
And of course we are dealt with. Where am I going is about, you talked about culture. So how do we now bring this thing back? That yes, there is a culture of respect. I'm coming to, then after that we'll now look at the culture of dressing. But first of all, let us look at the culture of respect. How do we now ingrain that? Because I want to fly with you about education and how we can bring back culture, the culture of respect first.
Thank you very much. We have laid a background that the society must open up itself, allowing the younger generation to understand what is going on. A lot of young people don't even understand where they are.
Yes.
Okay, the internet technology,
spoiled the whole
it's
lot of
okay.
things.
The internet technology is good, but if we don't have a proper understanding, what we'll be doing is we'll be trying to be like other people. Where you try to be like other people, you don't have an understanding of who you are. And a man who doesn't have understanding of who he is does not even know where he's going.
Of course.
Whoever at the time engineered the suspension of history from our syllabus did evil to this country. Major evil by removing history from our syllabus. How can you remove history from the syllabus of a nation? You are cutting off generations. You are destroying the bridge between a generation and the next generation. You don't understand where you are coming from. How do you know where you're going? How do you know where you're going? When you cannot analyze the past, use it to juxtapose the present and be able to predict the future successfully. Whoever did that did evil. But thank God it has been restored now. But there was a period of about 8 years that history went off. That generation of 8 years don't understand where Nigeria is coming from.
You know, I have a question, and this is always something that has always been in my mind. Like, we have a lot of people, you know, like he said, somebody going to study law and at the end of the day is not ready to practice it.
Okay.
Now, how do we correct that? Because a lot of people just feel they want to get this certificate.
Thank you very much.
Have this certificate, but yet at the end of the day, that is actually not what they are interested in.
Thank you very much. That is where I am going. That's where we need to have a proper understanding of what do you really want to do? What solution do you want to create for the society? Most young people don't understand this. So they just choose a profession. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. You don't understand who is a doctor, who is a lawyer. He doesn't understand that framework is not there. I want to solve problem, not I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. No, that mentality. We must start introducing from the primary school. This is the solution. This is the problems of the society, and these are the problems I want to be a solution to. Not tied to engineer, doctor, lawyer, architect. These are the mentality that young people have grown with, instead of the society inculcating it to them that education is not meant for
you to get a
job. Education is not meant for you to get a job. Education is not meant for you to become so person. Education is meant for you to be a solution provider. So even if I'm not a doctor, if I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an engineer, it doesn't make less of me as long as I am able to solve the problem I am set out to solve.
In continuity to the question I asked, now there are some persons that actually want to become something. They want to become a medical doctor, but they keep trying. But you know, they say it's Nigeria that tells you what you're going to be in future, because you know they'll say jam will jam you. You get to school, it's all terrible. They can't get to where they are. What's the solution towards this?
Well, sincerely speaking, I feel that the fact that you cannot be a particular profession or particular solution, you know, providing that you want to be, does not mean that the end has come. There could always be some other things. No single human being was made for one solution.
Yes, true.
Yes, no single human being was made for only one solution. So you can discover other things. Okay, yes, I want to be a lawyer. In my own case, my father wanted me to be a lawyer, even though I knew deep down with me, right from the age 14, I knew I don't want to be a lawyer. Because I've been to the high court 3, 4 times. I've gone to study what they do there, and I discover it's boring. For me, it's boring.
Wow.
The lawyer is speaking, the judge is writing. And if you go to the court today, more than 40 years after I went to the court that time, it's still the same process. Yeah. So when as a teenager, I saw the process. I said, what?
I'm not
the lawyer will be talking, the judge will say, wait, he will write. And they'll say, continue, he will write again. I said, me? Because I'm not a procedural person. I am not.
You're spontaneous.
Yeah, I'm spontaneous. I'm not cut out for process. This is how to do it. I don't like routine.
You want action.
I just want to be spontaneous. So as a young child, I knew what I wanted. That this is not me. This is not me. Most young people don't know who they are. That's where education starts.
Okay.
Let me say this. What we are doing in Nigeria, we are in our educational system is teaching monkeys how to swim and teaching fishes how to climb.
Wow.
You did it. We are teaching monkeys how to swim and we are teaching fishes how to climb trees. How do we get anywhere? Fishes are not meant to climb trees. Monkeys are not meant to swim. Monkeys should be trained how to climb, and fishes should be trained
how to swim.
Simple.
Unfortunately for me,
yes, sir.
My dad wanted me to be a medical doctor.
Whoa.
Good in the sciences, and I don't even like medicine. I am on the other side. I am on the other side of making things happen. And to me, the lawyer makes things happen, and that's why I chose to read law. I initially started with pole science. I did pole science. So you see, different strokes. But you made a statement which I want.
Yes.
What you wanted to do was in you.
Yes.
Your father did not see that.
He didn't see
that is what some parents don't see.
Yeah.
Fortunately, your dad allowed you to be who you want to be.
He did.
There are some parents who don't. And that's why I want you to speak to that issue. So that you see, when you are allowed to do what is innate in you, you have that freedom and you are free and you pull it and push it and you succeed in it. Even if you don't initially, but you know that you are pushing your passion. And that's what for me, after when my dad saw that I wasn't going his way, he left me.
Let go.
And I went my own way. May God bless his soul. Amen. Along the line before he died, he now said, well, it seems that you'll be a good lawyer. I can see that you'll be a good lawyer. Unfortunately, he died before I could be. But be that as it may, where am I going is that, yes, I appreciate this is your statement. And that's what we want some of our youth to know. And even some parents too. That when trying to educate or pushing your child in doing a profession and taking after a profession, how do they do that? Is it forcefully or they are, how do I put it now? They are guiding in a way, they guide them in a way.
Yeah. Guidance is actually what parents should do, not forcing, not insisting that this is what, like I said, you can't teach a monkey how to swim. Neither can you teach a fish how to climb. The best you can do is to make the fish become the best swimmer and make the monkey become the best climber. So we need to understand and identify what is this child cut out to do. But you see, the problem is that parents have a mentality in their mind. They have seen the son of somebody who was this. So I want my son, my daughter to be like the son of so and so person. Not understanding that no, education is not about becoming. It is about being the solution to a problem, not becoming somebody, not becoming this and that. So the more you are able,
the man is active. I like the way you're presenting this thing.
So the more you are able to identify societal problems and solving it. If I see somebody, no matter how rich a man has become, no matter how highly placed a man has become, I want to ask him, the first question, what problems have you solved? What problems have you solved? If you claim to be educated and you can't point to the problems you have solved, for me, you are an illiterate.
Wow.
Yes, you are an illiterate.
You see, another
angle again.
And that's why I look at young people today who go to university and they say, I am unemployed. I say, what are you talking about? How can you be educated and be unemployed? It's not possible. There are two things that don't agree.
Sorry,
you can't be educated and be unemployed.
Let me cut you again. Did you study theater art in university?
No, I did not. I studied history. I studied international relations.
Tell them.
Oh yes, I can now see where his thinking is coming from.
You see what we are talking about? That passion in you.
I have a master's degree by the grace of God. I have never used my and I made a very good grade in my master's.
I want to ask on this note you said how can someone be educated and say is unemployed? Can you, what do you expect the person to do? Can you explain further? Because people are watching.
Opportunities out there.
If your education,
open your eyes.
Education came from the background
yes.
of being a solution provider, you cannot be unemployed.
Okay.
You identify a problem.
You identify a problem and solve it. Many years ago, my father traveled to America and he had opportunities to stay. He said, no, I'm not going to stay in America. He came back after a few months and we said, why? My dad spoke with me. You know, he planted something deep in my impression. He said, when I got to America, I switched on the light. It came up. I turned the water tap. It was flowing. The streets are paved. He said, there's no problem for me to solve in that country. Let me come back to Nigeria, where there are problems for me to solve. Now, sincerely speaking, that was my greatest education. It gave me a background, a mindset that education is not meant for me to become somebody, but to be a solution provider. So when you grow up with that mentality, you went to school not to get degree. Many young people today, they go to school for certificates. When you get certificate, that doesn't make you educated.
And some can't even defend the certificate.
Defend the case, long.
Let us just have a break here. Come back. We here too. We are our guest is still charging us, but we say no. Relax. Let us share it with our people at home. Any test there?
For now, nothing yet. They're still calling. They are calling actually.
No, don't call. I know. Say as they sweet to Nadia. Now they sweet us here too. Don't worry. You'll be part of it. Just relax. I've told you. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Please. We'll get across to you very soon. We are working on it. I've told you. Don't worry. Trust me. We'll soon get back to you. But for now, we have our guest, Evangelist Kolade Shegun Okewo in the studio, who is dishing it to us hot. And I'm sure you're enjoying yourself. That's why instead of you to sit down and compose the test, you are busy calling. And of course, those of you who are enjoying it, don't worry. He's still with us. Evangelist.
Yes, sir.
People go to school, but they don't know how to use it to solve problems.
That's it.
Why? Is it part of the misplaced, or they are the one who are misplaced?
It is number one, there's a need for a mind shift, a societal mind shift. That when a man goes to school, the next thing is to get a job. And then
get a certificate.
Get a certificate
to get a
and
job.
Then use the certificate to get a job.
Sometimes they will put it good job.
There must be a change of mindset. There's a lot for us to learn from the Chinese, for crying out loud. We have a lot to learn. The Chinese understand education. They know that education is all about solving problems. That's all. Everything about education is solving problems. And see, the colonial government, the British, who introduced education, formal education, because I like to distinguish between formal education and informal. There has always been education in Africa. There has always been education in Nigeria, but not the formal. The formal education they introduced to us had a purpose. It was geared at producing people in the merchant merchant industry, and then for the civil service. That is what they created education for, and it met that need. Produce merchanting and then
run the civil service.
That was the basis. Now, ever since then, we have been following the same trend. We have been following that same trend of education is merchandise and then
not even producing.
We're not even producing.
So that's why we are not even be able to produce
that's where we missed it. That's why we missed it.
We have crude oil.
Yes.
Turn around every day.
Yes. Today we are lacking in technical education. The world has changed from produce people for the civil service, and they produce merchandise. The world has changed. We have changed to the world of technicality. Gradually we are moving from the world of technology now. We are not even there yet. The world is living. The world is living now to the world of artificial intelligence. You know. So we are far behind. So what we sincerely need is to say, what do we need? And let our educational syllabus be tailored to what our education is. So how often should we change our syllabus? As often as possible. Sometimes I look at the syllabus today and I ask myself, what is this one doing there? So what is the essence of this one? What is this particular course? What should we be doing with this course? You know, my wife runs a school, and I had to insist that they bring a course that is not in the syllabus of the government. I insist they should bring it. And what is that? Entrepreneurial development. It is not in the syllabus. How do these children understand how to turn 10 naira into 20 naira and turn 20 naira into 200 naira?
You're doing that right from
right from basic. They are being taught how to spend money. Once in a while, the school organizes trade fair. We organize trade fair for the young people, and we ask them, bring money, come and buy products, sell, and bring products, come and sell products. Bring products from
which is lacking in our school.
It's lacking in our school. We are not taught how to make money.
So we now grow and begin to hustle.
You know, when I was in school then, when I was studying, there's always this thing, aside from math, there's the further math. And then I used to ask, like, would this thing be useful in the future? And today, I used to, I like, if I see my further math teacher, I'm going to ask you, what's the usefulness of your further math? Like, why did you put it there?
Instead of that, why can't we have entrepreneurial class?
Something that links to everybody.
Exactly, entrepreneur class. Let's have artificial intelligence classes, so that as these young people grow up, as they come out of school, they are not looking for jobs. If jobs come, fine. Of course, there will always be the formal sector. They will require manpower. Okay, so there's no argument about that. We are not asking for
but the place will not be saturated.
But it will not be saturated. So that's why I maintain you cannot be educated and be unemployed.
I agree with you.
I can't allow anybody to disagree with me.
I have some questions for some persons here, but I'll just try to put them all together so you can ask. This one says, why are teachers not highly regarded in our society, and why do children not want to be teachers? Where will the nation be without our well-bred teachers? No name, no location.
No, we're not going to react.
I love that question.
Me too. I love it, but
let me react.
We are not going to react. Okay, we've already told, but since you want to respect
I like that.
No, we want to respect it, but we have already told people. Look at it now. You have brought a brilliant question. But no name and no location. But thank God our guest has come to the rescue. Meanwhile, you are a witch, wherever a wizard, because that's what we planned to do this week. But because we were able to hook our guest today, we decided to continue because that's another area. Maybe we'll be coming again for that. Oh yeah, since you like it, let's see.
Okay, thank you. We're talking about why do young people why don't they like to be teachers? Part of the orientation, part of what they grew up to meet. Let me give you an example. My own daughter, because of the orientation that we gave in our family, my own daughter from the age of 4, my daughter started saying, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher.
Very strange.
Today, she studied education in the university because she said, at the point she said, I like to be a professor of English, a professor of English, a teacher. She does not want to be a doctor. She doesn't want to be a lawyer. She wants to be a teacher. The teaching profession is a noble profession. I come from a family of teachers. My father retired as a teacher. My mother was in the educational sector. My siblings, most of my siblings are in the educational sector. So we all grew up, we understood the fact that education is what brought all of us to where we are today. Our parents fed us, sent us to school from the proceeds of the education industry. So we understand what education is. So it depends on the mindset. It depends on what you feed a child with. If you feed a child with depression, and this is for parents. A lot of parents are getting things wrong.
They want their child to be soldiers.
Yes, your child's teacher has maybe committed a blunder, or maybe has done something you don't
Wrong.
like, instead of you to directly report to the school or get in touch with that teacher, you tell your child, your teacher is olodo, your teacher is this. You begin to lambast the teacher
right in front of the child.
Right in front of the child. You are already telling the child the teaching profession is nothing. Some parents even go to the extent of following their children to school to beat the teacher, to harass a teacher. Somebody, a parent did like that in a school where my senior sister is a principal. Oh God, thank God for who my senior sister is. And unfortunately for that parent, my sister is the president of ANCOPS, all Nigerian Conference of Principals in Ogun State, of secondary schools in Ogun State. Oh, the parent landed in jail.
He must.
Landed in jail. How dare you come to school? Whatever that teacher might have done, whatever. It is not your job as a parent to come and discipline a teacher. Let it be the job of the principal or the school authorities to discipline that teacher. You denigrate the teaching profession. You come to school to come and harass a teacher, and you want your child to respect the teaching profession. It won't happen. So the fault lies in the hands of the parents. We don't dignify the teaching profession. And what can you do without the teaching profession?
Nothing.
What can you do?
Nothing.
What can you do?
Who are you?
The person's first question was, why are teachers not highly regarded in our society?
Yes.
Why aside from the parents now, you just said parents are part of it. Is it just the parents?
No, it's not. It's a general fallout.
So every leader in political office today was once a student.
Of course.
Okay, and was once a child. And if a child has grown up with a sentiment that who is a teacher, whatever he becomes in life, that sentiment cannot die. He grows with that sentiment that teachers. So when he is the governor of a state or is the president of the country, and we are talking of teachers' rights, teachers this, teachers that sentiment will remain there. Please, let's talk about something else. Serious, not teachers now. That sentiment cannot die. So I am appealing, I'm using this opportunity to appeal to parents that please respect teaching profession. Respect your children's teachers. Put them in high regards. Not necessarily because they don't earn more. We're not even talking about what teachers earn now. We're talking about the approach, the society perception of teachers.
Just to confirm what you said earlier on about your daughter. I remember when I was growing up, the fact then was that people wanted to be teachers. As soon as you left secondary school, generally then, maybe those who graduated with maybe A's, they come back to the school to teach. Not even not compulsorily, but they just come because they are the best. Right? Then again, after university, those who have the first class, they come back to become teachers. Even as soon as when we are in school, I don't know now, but then when we are in school, those who are the A students,
they come back to be assistant teachers.
You call them prof. Prof.
Graduate assistants.
Then again, when we are in school, we call them profs because they are the one. Then when they now leave also, they call them assistant teachers. What has happened, sir?
Well, to a large extent, the mindset problem is still the basic issue.
It's okay.
Then again, talk about encouragement from the government. A situation where lecturers in the university are earning probably the least pittance, and you find yourself in you find a situation where a university undergraduate comes to school, is riding a car much more better than that of his professor. So there's a mindset problem that so those who are teaching us, look at what
making more money.
We are probably even better than our teachers. So there's a problem. So how do you now encourage a young child to keep on studying when he notices that those who have studied are not even there?
Or are not given that recognition.
Whereas where we got it wrong is where I started from. That education is not about becoming, it's about being. It's about being, not becoming. So it's as you are growing old, as you are getting educated, you are being, not I want to become. You are being,
because you are made on a daily basis.
Exactly, you are being. So as a part 1 student, What are you doing? Not that, I'm waiting for when I will graduate. No.
What's in your mind?
What are you doing now? So it is being, not becoming. So if you have not been a solution, now don't tell me you want to become.
Philip has asked another question. He said, he's sorry for not mentioning his name. It's Philip from Onitsha. He says he actually asked a lot of questions too. Again, I think he's out here to know much about the education. He says, should our graduates still be those prepared only for the job market? And who will provide the so-called job market? He also went on to say, I'm cutting out some of the questions. He also went on to say, must every child go to the regular conventional school? Where is the place of talented and gifted but not academically inclined? And can they be also appropriately educated through other methods?
Thank you very much. Our educational system must make provision. That was why I came about the issue of teaching a fish how to climb. Somebody who is technically inclined should go to technical colleges. And that's where we must have a revamping of our technical colleges now. In fact, I am personally, I am hoping to have a blueprint for a technical college where young people will come and they'll be taught how to do technical things. See, as a construction person, I'm also into construction. There's a depth. There's a serious depth of artisans now. We need artisans. Many times we're looking for bricklayers. We need to import them from Togo. That's sad. That's sad. You are bringing carpenters, we're bringing POP artisans, we're bringing them from Togo, from Benin Republic. What is the population of Benin Republic compared to the population of Nigeria? That Nigeria will now be importing artisans from Benin Republic. There's a problem here. And these people will come, they will earn our millions and go back to their country with our millions. And yet, we have young people roaming around the street claiming we have no job. We don't have a job. We don't have a job. We are unemployed. What kind of employment are you looking for? Government job. The job that government will provide, that at the end of the month they will collect salary. Ogota. That kind of mentality. And then again, there's a need for our religious centers to help here. Many religious centers, the mindset we teach our young people is not correct. Oh, God will do it for you.
Expecting a miracle.
Yes. God will
prayer without work.
Yes. Little job, plenty money. God will bless you. God will just bless you. How? What are you doing?
That God will bless.
Religious centers must teach young people how do God bless. Not blessings from heaven, from what have you. I'm not particular about any religion here. All religions are guilty of this. In the mosques, they pray to Allah Akbar, Allah will bless you, Allah will do this, Allah will, everything, Allah must do it, God must do it. We must sit our young people down and teach them how to walk. There's nothing stopping churches from organizing seminars on skill acquisition, on how to do this, how to become this. What stops a church from teaching, from having a technical department where people are taught to become bricklayers, artisans, where they are taught to work with their hands and earn a good income.
And a good income.
That is still education.
Good income.
That is still education.
Sorry, sir. I'm involved in some construction.
Yes, sir.
In fact, my street has some issues. I'm involved. Yeah, the bricklayer came with 3 guys. Yesterday, when I went to the site to check them, where is the other guy? They say he had disappeared because he cannot go. They even said he's lazy. Even because when he started carrying the block, I say, can you carry the block? You need to see this young man standing. He's heftier than me. Carrying block was issued to him. He disappeared. He didn't come. And of course, the next thing, he saw me, he now said he wanted to ride the type of car I was riding. So, you walk before you ride the car.
Check it very well. He must have been taught in some religious centers that God will surprise you. God will shock you. Suddenly, you will get the money you didn't work for.
He's an evangelist.
He has been shocked already. That was how he left the job.
So before we go, sir, I want us to quickly see if we can look at the issue of morals too. Morals now, the moral turpitude of our youths, or even generally people now, unlike before, when you see people and you regard them, then more importantly, the dress code. they just dress anyhow. The boys, the boys, if they want to walk naked, I don't mind. But why put the trouser sagging? Because the last time I went to America, I went to one of the prisons in the course of doing a research work. Even the prisoners stood there because they say it came from prison. That's why I deliberately went there. I didn't see any prisoners sagging. They brought them out. They didn't sag. Then the girls, that one is another thing entirely. If they want to walk naked too, let them walk naked. But what the way the whole thing is going is embarrassing. Well, they are hiding under the principle of freedom of expression, freedom of this and freedom of that. And of course, we're going to tackle the president and Akpabio, that they must look at that issue very well. When you dress nakedly, you
indecent dressing.
That's indecent dressing. They must do something. And I'm using it as a right activist, that indecent dressing should not be allowed in this country.
Yeah,
under whatever guise.
Thank you.
And we're going to look at the law. Nobody can tell me it's freedom as expression, then you go naked.
Yeah.
So, and of course, by implication, you are inviting the rapist. And when people rape now, they now
complain. If they're even saying it's freedom of expression, please, what expression? I'm confused.
I asked the girl, hey, why are you dressed like? She said, I feel comfortable like this.
Well, I think one of the good things that God has blessed us with in Africa, which we must jealously guard, and maintain, is the dignity of our morality. We must guide it jealously. We must not allow the Western world to wash away our dignity. Over the years, they have attempted,
You remember the lesbian issue?
Thank you. I was going to that, but thank God Africa was able to say,
this is not part of us.
Please stay where you are. Let's stay where we are. At least on that issue, we will not follow you. We have been following you stupidly, dogmatically in many things that you have been doing, and part of it is what you are talking about now. Indecent. Where did they come from? Africans were not. We don't do that in Africa, and being African, we must teach young people to know that being African is dignified. I dress African. I love dressing African. I am Afrocentric.
In fact,
I am Afrocentric.
Further zoom on his dressing.
The attire is beautiful.
I am unapologetically
local.
I am unapologetically Afrocentric. When I was graduating from the university, I was just a little bit. I was getting to my 20s. I made up my mind right there that I will not wear suit. They said we must wear suit with our. I challenge my lecturer. I challenge the administration of the schools. Prove to me where it is that I must wear suit. Nobody could prove it to me. I wore agbada, damask, and I put my graduation gown on it, and I so much liked it. That is the way I want it. I was going to do my wedding. I got wedding in 1996, and my wife said we must wear suit, and I said, show me where it is written in the Bible that I must wear suit. Sir, I had to wear suit because my wife broke the emotional part of me.
She knows how to get you.
How will my own look like that my husband is not wearing suit? That was the only reason why I wore suit. 29 years ago, that was the only reason why I wore suit. If not, on my wedding day, I would have worn agbada. And I will see the pastor that will tell me why I wore agbada. And I will ask the pastor, where is it written in the Bible?
Okay, sir, because of the time, we have to wrap up the show. We have another program coming up. It's a live program too. So just in few words, in just like few seconds, can you just give us a roundup for all these things we've talked about today on the show?
Well, education must be directed at solving problems. Whoever is he who is educated cannot be stranded. He who is educated cannot be stranded. And I'm not talking about academic education. I'm talking about all-round education. Education must be directed at solving problems. So as we are growing up, the mentality of solution providing is what our youth should grow up with. Look around you. What problem can I solve? Look around you. You don't have to earn money. The culture of solution providing must become endemic, must become part and parcel of you. So that as you are growing up, you don't need anybody to teach you to solve problems. You just naturally solve problems. And when you solve problems, wealth will naturally chase you. Thank you.
I agree with
Thank you very
100%.
much. Yes.
What you just said is what I went through, solving problems. Until today, we are solving problems. Voters Forum 2 is an opportunity to solving problems. I never studied mass communication, but here we are, using my little education to solve problems. And I know we are going somewhere.
Yes.
And
very beautiful.
I'll give you the challenge at home. You too. See how you can solve problems. There are so many. I don't want to go, but there are so many problems that I've solved. Even, let me just keep that for another day. I want to...
Yes, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show. It's been in fact, let me just test you. Let me use that word. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an amazing one. And of course, Fumilayo and Ajiboye, I see your messages, but time is up. We can read more messages. Okay, until next week then, we'll still talk about teachers and education, I'm sure, Barrister, right?
Yes.
So yes, your text message will still, go in line. And we'll do this. Please join us from 12 to 1. Don't send your messages just at the late time. Send it at the early times to 12 to 1.
That we are now online real time.
Yes, we're now online real time, so you can actually be part of this program with us. So my name is Rose Blossom. Till next week, do you have a fabulous weekend?
Have a fabulous weekend. I'm Wale Ogwade, your host on this program. And on this note, I want to thank our guests. Seriously. Seriously.
Thank you.
You really opened our eyes further on this issue of education, morals, and of course, teachings and the curriculum and everything. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And I pray that when next you come knocking, you'll be available.
Yes.
It won't be like this one that it was under the stress of Ijakadi. Thank you. That was the show this week, my people. Please join us next week. Till then, just keep away from trouble. And of course, have a great week ahead. Thank you.